What's up? Not sure what's up with Facebook, but you know, here I am. I'm back again. Trying to just have a conversation with you, because I just got back from Iceland, and it has been, how shall I say, an eye-opening experience. And I thought I was pretty open already, but apparently no. Apparently, I had to have my eyes opened, my mind open, and my heart blown wide open. So look, if anybody out there that you know is dealing with some issues around love, because I don't really know anybody. Okay, well, no, I'll take that back. I do know a few people who are rocking it in the love department, but I'm going to tell you, this trip blew my mind and blew my heart wide open. So anybody else you know who might be struggling in the love department, I want you to share this video with them. Because one of the things I realized is I had some preconceived notions about myself that were challenged. And it takes a lot, at least, okay. Previously, I thought it would take a lot to challenge me on my stuff, okay? You know, my life is all about living up to your potential. My work with all of you all is all about helping you bust free from any drama and trauma. What's up, Camilla? So it's always about, you know, helping you break out of your limiting beliefs and paradigms and whatever may be holding you back. I thought I was living that. But y'all, this trip to Iceland, which was, by the way, my 6th trip, blew my mind. It blew my mind wide open, my heart wide open, and shattered all of these preconceived notions about me, and about love, and about sex, and about intimacy. You feel my energy, says Camilla? Well, I'm making myself a little cup of my mushroom chaga tea stuff. You guys know how I do on this new kick, because I need something magical. You know, this summer for me has been really, really liberating. Yes, Janet, sounds liberating? Oh yeah. I'm at least gonna share with you my perspective on what opened up for me, and then, you know, it's up to you to decide if that is something that you want to experience in your own life. I am just going to pop over here so that I can give you some, let's see. So how many of you think you know pretty well what your beliefs are about what's possible for you in the love department? Type it in. Tell me. Do you feel like you really, really know what's possible for you? Let me know. Come on now. Y'all are being silent. I'm trying to share this Facebook Live over to the other side. Because I think it's, again, my mind was blown because I didn't realize that I had any limiting beliefs as it pertained to what is possible for me in the love department. What is possible for myself, even in just the, I don't know, the intimacy department, and how far I'm willing to go. So what I mean is, if you've ever known yourself to say something like, oh, I'm not into that kind of stuff, or I'm not that kind of person. Like, we label ourselves, right? Does anybody else do that? What's up, Karan? I pray that you are well, sister girl. You've been on my mind. I would frequently say to my daughter, for example, she and I, we kind of like to stay home on the weekends. And, you know, it's one of those things, well, I'll ask her, do you want to invite a friend over? You want to hang out? And, you know, sometimes it's yes, but a lot of times it's like, I kind of want the whole day to just do my own thing. I'm not really feeling that social today. Now that's pretty innocent, right? That's not a big label we're putting on ourselves. But when you start to say these things all the time and you develop certain, I don't know, patterns that almost put you into a rut situation. Salut, salut. It's like you may not even realize how you are subtly limiting yourself. So, I bring all of this up to say this. Let me just break it down for you. So you know I was in Iceland, and I was hosted by the beautiful Solveig. And Sol is a new friend, sister goddess friend. She is also a client of mine. We are bringing her message of love to the world. Oh, that's too high. Hello. Let me make that a little lower. Sorry, guys. I've been away. I got to get my gear back in order. So, Solveig is the author of this book. She is the owner of Solir, which is this gorgeous yoga studio in Iceland. And we met in Alicante, Spain, when I was invited by the lovely Steinar Ditlevsen for the European Transformational Teachers Gathering. So I've told this story before and she won't mind. I'm not going to say anything that I'm not allowed to say. But I was invited to speak at this event. And it was not your typical salesy event. Nobody was like pitching their products. Steinar has such a big heart. He really wanted to try something different. And he's done it before. And this was like the second event of its type, where we got together to just support each other, learn from each other, be in community and connection with each other. And it was all based on just really tapping into the heart of what it means to be a transformational teacher. And I know y'all know that the work I'm into is I want transformation. I want results in your life. I want results, right? But you also know, hopefully, that I've got a big heart. And that when I tell you that I love you and that I'm doing things out of love for you, I really mean it. And I think that's what allowed Sol and I to have a connection. So here I am, standing on stage. Now, mind you, I should say this. Lovely Steinar told me, Andrea, you're new to this group. We're just going to have you talk for maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then maybe I'll interview you a little bit. I was like, cool. So happy to connect with these beautiful souls from all over, but mainly in the Scandinavia area, although our dear friend Jessie Dobeck had flown in from California. And at this event, a few minutes before going on stage, Steinar said I could speak for longer, like an hour. So this was not one of those things, and those of you that know me, I used to be very perfectionistic. Okay, well, I'm not saying I'm not perfectionistic anymore, I'm just not as perfectionistic. So I get on stage and I'm realizing I have no prepared presentation. This was a very different group. It wasn't just business, it was speaking from the heart and connecting, and my intention was to inspire these beautiful people to develop an authentic brand, a brand identity based on who they really are, and then to start sharing that with the world. Like so many of us are kind of feeling this nudging and tingling, this burning inside where we feel like, I want to make a difference in the world. I want to do something with my talents, my ideas, my skills. I want to get it out there, right? How do you feel about that, Nomi? And hello, Helena. I know you feel it too, girlfriend. What's up, Sejal? So the whole intention of this meeting was that. So I get on stage and I'm kind of just winging it. But you know, I mean, I've been speaking for 20 years, so it's not like it was an unknown to me. But I'm presenting a concept which you may have heard me talk about, was how do you go from just being a local expert, maybe a coach or a healer in your hometown, and how do you start to just radiate the truth of who you are all over the world. So even if it's through electronic media, digital media, like a podcast or your YouTube channel or Facebook Live, your blog, your books, or standing on stage, how do you do that? How do you go through these stages of being just a local expert to a global luminary? And I wanted to share with them, my background, right? So that they would kind of get a context for who I was, one of two Americans in this whole gathering. So I shared my story. If you haven't heard it, well, you will, about how I had this big high-powered career and I wasn't happy. What's up, Gary? And I realized that I was not living my authentic truth. And I also realized I wasn't living up to my potential, and I was feeling frustrated and really depressed. And so I was sharing from the heart. And at one point, as we were talking about what it means to be a personal brand, I asked them, okay, guys, if you were to strip away all of the labels of who you think you are or who you say you are, some of us, if I ask you, who are you? You might say, oh, I'm the mother of 3 children, or, oh, I'm a teacher, I'm a doctor, or, oh, I don't know, I am, from the Native American tribe of whatever, right? You might start to identify with all the demographics of who you are, right? Now, I ask them this question, and I'll ask you as well. If you strip away all of those labels about gender and identity and your accomplishments and what everything says on your resume, who are you? Who are you? I'm going to leave that to you to answer while I take a sip of tea. Who are you, my dears? Who are you really? Who do you say you are? Yes, Camilla, I see the hearts flying. And thank you, Tamara, for sharing the video. So tell me, who are you? Who are you? Without the labels. Now, I was giving a brief explanation of sometimes I stay home on the weekends with my daughter and we do a little bit of nothing. Okay, I can't see any comments, so maybe, okay. I see hearts and I see thumbs up. I am love, my true essence, says Sajal Naik. Beautiful. Saru says, I'm like you, I'm a zebra. I know I can't be in a case. I'm a polytalent and we have to live for who we are. Yes, Saru. And Nomi says, I am vulnerability. Pure love wrapped in fierceness and giggles, says Karan. Hey, Nino. Oh, don't worry about the spelling, my darlings, because the spelling doesn't matter. We're not into perfectionism today. So I asked this question, who are you? So I'm standing on stage. And mind you, Steiner had set the tone. He is a master at bringing people into his heart and beaming love and acceptance. So the whole atmosphere in Alicante was very much about love and togetherness. So I was like, I'm going to step into this. I am going to step up as the most bold version of me. And I'm going to share my truth about what I believe is possible. So I asked the question, and some people responded like you, that I am love, I am spirit. Who are you when you take away the masks? Who are you when you take away the identifiers? I am God, I am love, I am essence. And this beautiful woman, sitting over to, stage left, my left, she said, I am you. And I said, yes. You are me and I am you. And I am you and you are me. And so if I am you and you are me, then why would I ever try to pretend to be something else? And why would I ever judge myself or you if we are truly one? Oh yeah, guys, we went there. Arslan, you are inspired and unstoppable. Maureen is a giver, and you love to share your experiences and help people, and you love to laugh and bring joy. So if that's all that we are, then why would we ever hold back on that, right? So I said this to this beautiful woman here, Solveig. Now here she's obviously showing us her amazing yoga skills, which I've now seen up close and personal at her studio, where I know you may have actually seen the video. You see my booty up there as I'm doing this headstand. So Solveig at this event has her hair out and flowing. She's in these beautiful clothes with her gorgeous friend Ausha. And I'm like, good Lord, these women are just like glowing and radiating beauty and sensuality and just goddess energy. And that's not even a word that I usually like to use, but that is the energy they radiated. So as I'm saying this to Sol, and I said, you are me and I am you, and we are love and we are God, it was like, boom, right? So I'm on my roll. Then I start flipping back into kind of the business stuff, explaining about how when we come from the heart and share who we truly are, we don't have to be like anybody else. We play our role to the fullest, and then, boom, we can share that with the world. And the people who need just what we are will be attracted to it. And they'll get fed, and we'll get fed, and it'll be this mutual thing, right? Well, at some point, I started talking about, I don't even know what else. I don't even know what topic I had shifted to. But I'm kind of looking at the audience, like a good speaker does. And then again, my eyes fell on Solveig. And I'm like, she had her hand like this, and she turned away. And I was like, uh-oh, I think I'm losing my audience here. I think I must be boring them. So I was getting all, back in my head, back in self-conscious land. And I kept going. I gave my talk. And I'm like, okay, if they're getting bored, let me just turn on the charm. Let's bring it back up. Let's get it inspirational. And everything ended well. People were moved, like literally moved. I was so humbled that people really got me. They accepted me and my stories. And we made some beautiful connections. Well, later, when I saw Sol, I think over dinner that night, I kind of said, look, she thanked me for the presentation, said it was amazing. And I was like, really? Because it looked like I was boring you at one point. She was like, no, not at all. She was like, I was covering my face because I was crying, because she felt so connected to the story, that we had so much in common. And it wasn't just our past that we had in common, like all of the stuff that, being this high achiever, like Solveig was in the finance industry. She was this high-powered stockbroker, running things, always in the black suit, the power suit, and little by little had her own awakening, which I will not tell you all of her story, because I can tell you the exciting news. She is confirmed as one of the authors in a new book that I'm co-authoring called Time to Rise. So you'll be hearing about those details later. But she shared her own awakening story and how she became just immersed in the world of yoga, how she gave up that old identity to embrace who she really is, her authentic self. And the thing that helped us bond in that moment was, she said, I felt like you, Andrea. I felt like I couldn't share my truth because people might think I was a freak. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, I just love. I just want to beam love to everyone. And I'm like, oh, I know that feeling. Like once you have your awakening and you know that we are love at our core, and there's no reason to judge yourself or anyone else, and that you can truly love another. So here's my next question for you. Do you feel like loving someone has to be tied to sex and intimacy? And if you love someone, does that mean you have to marry them? Okay, obviously I'm talking about, whatever gender you happen to be attracted to, in a romantic situation. But even if we take away romance, can a woman who is heterosexual love another woman who is also heterosexual? So I'm not talking about any sexy lesbian stuff. I know, y'all know I wrote a sex book and you think, ooh, Andrea's going there. No, I'm asking you a serious question. So type it in. What is this meaning to you? Have you ever felt love for someone that you weren't, gonna sexually get with or try to marry? I'm asking because we have these preconceived notions that it's not okay to love people just, I don't know, just openly. Because it does seem like people would think we are a little weird. You might be a little weird if you're just reaching out to women, again, if you're heterosexual and you're saying, oh, I love you. But that's what I've been feeling for years, and it's like I felt like I was weird. And that's what Soul said. So fast forward to this last week and why it blew my mind. So good. Thank you, Nomi. Thank you, Karan. I get it. You guys are so there with me. And you also tell them, wonderful, Nomi. I love it. And Sejal, you say, yes, based on your upbringing and conditioning. So this is the thing. I kind of thought it was weird, but I don't know. Camilla says, yes, you can feel deep love towards another woman, even if you're not into women. Exactly. And yes, Maureen, we are meant to love in an unconditional way. And so, okay, so we're all on the same page. This is the love tribe. People who inspire you, says Sejal, but of course with friends, it's a different intensity to romantic love. Absolutely. But when your heart has been opened, it may not have the same flavoring as romantic love, but you recognize that you can love everyone. And you can beam love to everyone, right? Welcome, Kim. So while I was in Iceland, Solveig is on board as a client, and we're getting ready to bring out a book, a fascinating program for identifying your nature and your genetics and how it all fits together, an app. And I spend a lot of time with my clients to get to know them and to kind of sink into their mind, their heart, their soul, their spirit. And she invited me to Iceland so I could spend some time with her. And if you saw any of the videos that I posted over the week, it was a jam-packed week. So here's the first thing. First things first. I have previously said, I'm not into yoga that much. I do a few stretches. I do a few little yoga stretches just in the morning before I do Qigong, but I never go out to do yoga. Although I recently bought a yoga mat and started getting all this yoga gear because I'm like inspired. But again, every time you say, you put a label or a limit on yourself, I want you to check yourself. I know it seems totally innocent, right? To say I'm not really a yoga person. Or for me, I used to say, oh, I don't exercise in the afternoon. I have to exercise first thing in the morning. Yes, Camilla, I'm gonna get to the cacao ceremony, don't you worry. So that's just been my belief, like, oh no. And it's been more than a belief, it's been ingrained. Like, oh no, I don't work out in the afternoon. I can't work out in the afternoon. I don't have enough energy in the afternoon. No, I need my energy first thing in the morning. That's when I get my best exercise. But being invited to spend time with Sol and to experience her world, she said, okay, we're going to do hot yoga. Okay, I've never done hot yoga before, but I do love the heat. The class was 90 minutes. I have never done something for 90 minutes, but okay, I wasn't going to back down. I'm just like, all right, good. Put on my game face, roll on in, and you can see the video of my very first hot yoga session. It wasn't pretty, but fortunately, it's a time-lapse video, so it goes by really fast. She posted it on the site. So what happened to me in that experience? This is number one. This idea that I can't do this, that, or the other shattered. Because so many people in the yoga studio, different sizes and shapes, men and women, young and old, just doing it. And there's this kind of like solidarity, like we're all here, we're gonna do this. And I challenged myself. I said, I will do every single pose or asana, every stretch. I'm just gonna do it so that I have tried, and I did. The only one I was struggling with was the headstand. So I got a little help, but I'm like, oh my God, I just did my first yoga headstand. And mind you, Sejal, you know this because you love hot yoga. I was dripping with sweat. Like not just a little perspiration, like, I got my glow on. No, dripping, drenched with sweat. So much so that, even doing just downward dog, I've got like water like pouring. I thought literally someone was behind me pouring water. But afterward, I felt stronger. I felt more powerful. I felt more alive. And I felt like, wow, I've been limiting myself. And I just busted through it. Now that was very early on in my trip. Okay, boom, great. I was loving that. Cheers to hot yoga. So, the next little revelation. I, at this point, had never done a cacao ceremony. Nor had I ever been involved in a goddess gathering or a goddess circle. So, Solveig and her beautiful friend Ausa and Camilla, who led the cacao ceremony, they organized this beautiful, beautiful ceremony at her home. And she invited, I think, 40 women. There were 2 Americans there, me and this other American who was beautifully playing the harp and these like singing bowls. Sol and Ausa were playing the gong at some points. It was magical. So here I'm sitting with 40 plus women in this ceremony with this rich cacao from Guatemala that is said to help really open up your heart, sink in, and all of the health benefits, from the nitric oxide and turning on the anandamide and the PEA in our brain that makes you feel love. But I was actually able to witness love like blooming and blossoming. It was amazing because some of the women knew each other, but most of us had never been to a cacao ceremony. We only knew Sol through whatever connection, but had never done this sort of goddess gathering where literally people were dressed up in beautiful clothing and just together to honor the full moon and take in this cacao. So I was like, wow, I'm going to be all in. So if you saw the video, you know what they do at cacao ceremonies. They're like dipping in and they're putting it on the face and, drinking this cacao and really letting it sink in. And you know what I saw? I just saw so much love between these women. Yes, you saw it, didn't you, Camilla? And my dear friend Gega, whom you've all heard me talking about, the creator of Smiler, she was with me. I'm so, so happy that you were there, Gega, because we got to share this moment. And again, at the very end, everyone was kind of hugging and committing to get together again, and they vowed to say, let's do this more often, like this powerful gathering around love, not networking for business purposes, although I'm sure there will be some business transactions because we connected on a heart level. So now, there was another interesting element to this Icelandic trip. Has anybody else out there done a cacao ceremony? Please chime in, and thank you all for those of you who have shared this video. Because now I have another mind-blown experience. So right there, boom, heart wide open, boom, feeling love for these women that I don't even know, just seeing their beauty, seeing the purity and the innocence as we each kind of shared how we all felt so inspired and just alive. And when I wrote my book, The Orgasm Prescription for Women, one of our taglines is that we really, my intention was to help you live orgasmically. And that means that everything could just be an expression and an explosion of joy and love and ecstasy, not just at sexy time. Like life on earth is really about, the coming together of energy to create an orgasmic experience. So this is something I've been baked in for the last couple of years with all the research on the book and talking to women in women's groups. I thought thought I had got this whole idea about living orgasmically and being fully expressed and all of that. But here's what happened next. I can't even remember the order of the days. What's up, Sonia? Good to have you here, as well as you, Sarah. So we ended up going island hopping. So we left the mainland of Iceland and took a ferry over to Westmannaeyjar Island. And it was because this particular weekend was a national celebration weekend. The people who lived on Westmannaeyjar Island, I can't remember the date, many, many years ago, there was a volcano that was spewing lava and ash, and that island was at risk. And they evacuated all 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 inhabitants. Not a single person was killed. But most all of the homes were destroyed, and people got over to the big island, and now every year they celebrate life, love, nature, and togetherness. So literally people leave the main island, take a ferry over to Westmannaeyjar Island, and there's an outdoor concert, there's singing, there's a lot of drinking, and merrymaking, and it's all about love. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to an outdoor concert, but for me as an American, having attended concerts in the United States, including some of the outdoor ones, including some of the ones where alcohol was involved, where people could just get, a little crazy, I would have been the type of person, again, I'm talking about anytime you put a label on yourself, even unknowingly. Like, I wouldn't normally walk around in my head saying, I'm not the kind of person who goes to outdoor concerts. But when I was told that that's what was going to happen, I was kind of thinking like, oh, really? I'm going to take a ferry over to an island, which means I'm stranded, and go to an outdoor concert. Okay, and it's Iceland. And even though it's summer, it ain't summer like it is here. It's cold. Okay, coldish. Anyway, so we get there. We have this beautiful vegan meal, get full, great food, and walk over to the place where the outdoor concert was taking place. And it was stunning. I don't think I've even uploaded all the photos and videos. It was like to be shielded by a mountain behind us and kind of in this bowl with a little bit of view of the sea. And there's this stage. And they're singing songs that everyone knows, so everyone in the audience is kind of singing along. And one of the things that really shocked me, again, this was all about blowing out my expectations around love. Now, I know it was an outdoor concert, there was a lot of drinking, and it was all about celebrating love. Those are three things that are pretty critical. But here's what happened. We sat down with some of Solveig's friends, and I was greeted with the warmest, big, huge bear hug and kiss from first a man, and then his girlfriend, and then several other people. And if you had seen the way this man kissed us, I would have thought he had known Solveig and everybody else for a long time. She's like, nope, just met him. Okay, all right. Maybe it's the alcohol, everybody's feeling the love. But at one point, there was another woman who came over, and everyone's just kind of singing and in this happy, glowing state. And pretty soon, she's like got her arms around us, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're just singing, we're all in love and happy. And it was hilarious because Solveig leaned over and she was like, that I've just met this person. I've never seen her before in my life. And I'm like, wow, is that how it is in Iceland? It's just all love? What have I been missing out on, right? But it was so much fun that I got to the point where, the sun sets much later there. So by the time the sun was finally setting and it really started to get cold, I knew it had to be, after 10, maybe 11 o'clock. And, we had been there for quite some time. So again, if I had gone back into my head about what kind of person I am or what things I'm allowed to do, I would have never dreamt of being at an outdoor concert with people I don't know, singing in a language I don't know. It's like, what was I going to get out of that? But I had so much fun. And eventually they did have some songs that everybody knew, and they put the words up on the screen. So I was able to sing along in Icelandic. And what was crazy was just to look around me, and there were nearly 20,000 people there. And yes, they had been drinking for about the last 6 to 8 hours, maybe longer. And yes, you could tell the people were maybe a little inebriated. But there was such peace. And even when the concert was coming to an end, normally when I've been at outdoor events, it's like a stampede. Everyone's thinking, oh my God, I want to get to my car, get out of here. It was like the most peaceful, everyone just kind of getting up, cleaning up their little blankets, walking down the hill. There was no stampede. There was no energy of fear, like, oh, I gotta, get mine, get out of here. It was, I don't know if that sounds really amazing to you, but to be in that sort of environment and to be fully invested, like I was fully present, I was like, wow, this is amazing. This feels so good. So here's the next little bit. Anybody out there ever been to a sweat lodge? Oh yeah, this was like the transformational experience. My whole summer, from my trip in Peru to this trip in Iceland to what I'm doing next week in Orlando with Steve Richards, who's coming in from Australia. And then the following week, or 2 weeks, to be in Mount Shasta with these beautiful shamans who are coming over from the Sierra Nevada in Colombia for a whole nother ritual and ceremony. So this is a summer of me immersing myself in other cultures, other rituals, other ceremonies, and really experiencing life from a different perspective and dropping, at least now I know I'm dropping them, dropping these preconceived notions about who I am and what is okay. Because as I was saying, the two people that were sitting with us, I think it was Oli, and I can't remember his girlfriend's name, sorry. But they were so beautiful. Like, they were so in love. They were singing, dancing, hugging each other, kissing each other. And then they would turn around and they'd give hugs to everyone else. It was just this, I don't know very many people who could watch their girlfriend hugging and kissing on other people. And it wasn't like romantic kissing. It was just this pure sharing of love. And it just made me say, damn, I want some of that. Like, I want some more of that in my life. So next up was the sweat lodge. And, okay, never done one, but I'm not opposed to it until we drive up to the place, and it's all far out in Iceland. It's all beautiful scenery. And Davide, the guy who is doing our sweat lodge, or David, he says, okay, so you got everything you need, right? You've got your bikini. We're going to be standing out here in the rain by the fire. And I'm like, wait, what? Y'all didn't tell me I was going to be standing outside in the rain in my swimsuit. And again, I'm like, okay, I had to check myself. It's like, wow, I am usually one of those people who doesn't like to be cold. I would never stand outside in the rain, let alone in my bathing suit. But I'm like, okay, so this is what we do. Alrighty then. Didn't have any sandals, and I'm like, oh, I have to walk from the barn to the fire barefoot. I'm not usually a girl who likes to go barefoot, especially when it's raining and there's all these rocks. God, even saying that, just saying it out loud, I realized, damn, I was lame. So Maureen, you've done some of this sort of stuff? You say you miss those days you were a hippie growing up? And yes, Camilla, this is the try and feel new things kinda weekend. And yes, Nomi, there was definitely magic power with these women getting together, healing through the power of love. So I did what I had to do. I put on my bathing suit and I walked out into the rain and stood by the fire to learn about the beginning of this ritual, a few things that we had to do before going into the sweat lodge itself. And once again, all I saw was just an exchange of love, like men truly hugging and embracing each other. and women embracing women and women embracing men and other men who were not their partners. And again, this is nothing sexual, but it was just this, I don't even know how to describe it. I remember getting teary-eyed at one point, just looking around like, wow, this is so foreign to me. Not just because they were speaking in Icelandic, but this free, uninhibited, just, wow, we're here for this experience of transformation, of kind of letting go of the shit that doesn't serve us. And of course, that motivated me to really step up my stuff and really just be present and just let go of all this stuff. Excuse me. So, at one point, I did say to Sol and Ausa, you know, I used to think I was lame. I was the lame mommy. And I even said it to Sienna, like, you've got such a lame mommy. I don't want to dress up. I don't want to go out. I like just being home. And it's as if that label and that identity was always being put up in front of everything. So I'd get invitations to go out or invitations to dinner or an event was coming up. And it was like, nah, I'd block it. Nah, I like my sleep. I like to be home by 10. Like all these preconceived notions. And I had to say it to Ausa and to Solveig. I'm like, I am no longer lame. Let the record show. And it's posted on Facebook. I've done hot yoga. I've done a cacao ceremony. I've done singing outside till the wee hours of the morning in the cold in Icelandic. I've been just sharing love and getting love, and I am no longer lame. I am like living. And at first that was kind of my new label, no longer lame. But one of the things, to take this way back to the beginning of this conversation, when we were, you're not the lame mom. No longer, Camilla. No, I'm going to tell you, no more. You are not the lame mom. You are the mom who is like taking back her life, taking control. I mean, look at all the things that have changed for you just this summer, right? Like you are moving on. So, as I was saying, back in Alicante, one of the exercises that Steiner had us do at this European Transformational Teachers Gathering was, you know how we do these kind of meet and greet icebreaker kind of things? Well, we were told to look someone in the eyes and repeat 4 statements. Do you want to know what they are? Anyone? Are y'all still there? I know you're there. So these are the 4 statements. I am so happy to meet you. My heart is open. I really see you. And you are an amazing human being. So imagine that you're in an event and you have to walk up and say that face to face and then to hear that face to face. By about the 3rd or 4th time, you really feel it. You really feel that you're seeing and being seen. And Solveig and Ausa led us through that when we did the cacao ceremony. So once again, I got to see it, now that I had already done it, to see all these other women kind of go through that moment of awkwardness of, okay, I'm going to stand here in front of someone I don't know and tell them that I really see them and my heart is open and you are an amazing human being. So, my last day in Iceland, once again, Solveig says, all right, we're going to go to the studio where I got to meet her partners in this other business. Oh, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. Oh my God, you will be mind blown. So cool. So I got to meet her partners, Rap and Gulli. We got to shoot some video. I shot some video with Sol and then with Gaga. And after that, she said, okay, at 5:30, we have another hot yoga class with Maria. And Maria was at the cacao ceremony. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, we've been out 3 nights in a row where I've gotten to bed between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. Oh, and of course I wake up at like 7 because ding, You know, I'm on a whole different time system. And, you know, the sun is already up by that time. Hello, Ida. Yes, it is a good time to enter. So it's 5:30 and I'm like, okay, 3 nights of 0 sleep and it's the afternoon and I'm going to go do hot yoga. Okay. So once again, there I was doing hot yoga. I've got beautiful Solveig, who's super strong next to me, and beautiful Gega, who's there also doing this for the first time. And she's going through it like a trooper, like a, you know, true Viking goddess or whatever. And when we got to the end of the class, all I could say was, damn, I am an amazing human being. Simply because of what I had like pushed and put myself through in all of these days, the energy that I felt flowing, the love that I had been exchanging, completely outside of my comfort zone. I was not the same. I was no longer the lame mommy. And all I could say, and I don't mean this in a bragging sort of way, just looking at what I had just physically been through, I was like, I am an amazing human being. I know that sounds a little bit weird, perhaps, although maybe not to you, Jill. You said, I'm officially a hot yogi now. Yes, I am. And it is truly amazing because I didn't think that's what I was. But then looking at Solveig and the way she's changed her entire life and to see what she has created for herself and for other people, hearing other people describe the experience they've had being at her studio. They've had the same thing as me. They feel, first of all, this community, this sense of, you don't have to come in here with your perfect yoga body and perfect yoga clothes and be part of that typical yoga lifestyle. Like, she's made yoga cool for the entire island. And it's not, I don't know, it opened up my mind. And so seeing these other people and how it was just life affirming, it reminded me that, wow, I have been limiting myself. I have even me, the one who's always screaming about living a fully expressed orgasmic lifestyle, I uncovered several ways that I had been limiting myself with limiting beliefs and limiting labels that I put on myself. And what was interesting was, after that, I found myself walking around kind of questioning myself, kind of like checking myself, like, wow, if I'm no longer the lame mommy, and I'm no longer a person who says she doesn't go to outdoor concerts or stay up late 3-4 nights in a row, get no sleep, and then do exercise, wow, what else might I tackle in this life of mine? And then it comes back down to love, to see so much love pouring out of Soul, but everyone else. It was this reminder that we can live this way. We can shower people with love. And yes, it may feel a little weird and a little awkward at first, but when you sense and you feel and you know that it's genuine, it sets you free. It sets you free to also share love with other people, to look at them and say, oh, I love you, to like admire one another without it being this thing where you have to like worry about what they're going to say or you have to say something back. And yes, Jill says doing it in front of the mirror every time takes it to an even crazier level. Hello, Jeanette. And Camilla says, no more labels, no more label mom, and no more lame mom. And I just had to, I even said it to Sienna when we met on FaceTime the other day. I said, listen, I am no longer the lame mommy. And one of the things that I had written a song with a couple of people several years ago. To your point, Jill, we had people in our obesity treatment and eating disorder program do something that we called a mirror meditation. And this was conceived by this lovely woman named Blanche Williams, who would literally have our clients look at a mirror And they would say, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, tell me what you see. I see greatness staring back at me." So I took some of that and I ended up writing this song called "I Love You, Me." And the power of being able to look at yourself in the mirror and really say, "I love you," to yourself, and mean it, and know that your love is not tied to any physical condition. Not "I love you" when you're the right weight, or when you do the right things, or when you look a certain way, but just to feel that at my core, I am love and I can share love. Whew, y'all, it was huge. It was a huge, huge weekend, or not even weekend. It was like 5 days, 4 or 5 days. It was just beautiful. So if you ever wonder why I'm the mushy way that I am, this is my authentic self. And to think that I could have even taken it up another level, I wouldn't have ever guessed. But spending this time in Iceland, this particular time, it was truly magical. And voila, there it is. So what else have you guys been up to since I've missed you for a week or so? So Jill, you said the first time you got teary and you realized that you couldn't say it that easily. Yes. Yes, Dr. Jill, mirror work is transformational. But what if we can be a mirror to each other? Like, that's really what happened at that European Transformational Teachers Gathering. Like, we were a mirror to one another, holding each other to our highest vision of love and power and possibility. And once you can see yourself and your beauty and your love and your truth reflected back, for me this week, it was truly life-affirming. It was life-affirming to be in that space for that period of time, pushing myself beyond my boundaries and my limits, receiving love in a way that I hadn't before, and recognizing where I had been limiting myself in terms of love and what's appropriate and all of that. Yes. So, my friends, I just love you all. I do. I have big love, 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 love floating around for you. And it just means the world to me that we're connected. And I hope that somehow this is maybe inspiring you, and that you'll be definitely seeing more of this kind of experience from me, because Solveig is actually coming here to the south of France. So Dr. Janet Anthony, you will be meeting her, and she will be leading us in some sessions for the Roots of Purpose retreat that's happening this October. And incidentally, there's another spot that opened up, and Jeanette, I saw that you are coming. I can't wait. Thank you guys for sharing this video. It's going to be really powerful to see Solveig here at this event. We also have Todd Malloy, the one man who is going to be at the event so far. He's also presenting. It's just going to be, yeah, it's going to be magical. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And all of my events, because I'm a mushball and I just want love, of course, if business is what the event is around, like the speaker training that we're doing in London in October, or the Roots of Purpose, I'm going to give. You probably seen I'm a pretty generous person, giving when it comes to my knowledge and experience and my hookups with my network. But I really want you to just be able to feel that sense of love and support from me, from this community, knowing that you can take your whole life to a whole nother level. And we've got more and more people who are doing just that. This is not business as usual. This time right now that we are living in is a prime opportunity for us to really blow past all of our preconceived notions about what success is, what we're worthy of, what we deserve, and how high we can get. I hadn't even realized that I was limiting myself in some ways in terms of pleasure and socialness and love and whatnot. Not anymore. And for those of you that are interested in how you can bring this connection of head and heart and really have your heart opened, then you can also join us for the retreat on Mount Shasta. And you don't have to fly to California to be there for that retreat. Mary Maya, who is teaching how to attend the event in spirit, if you donate to this special event where we're bringing 3 shamans, it's now up to 3. We've got these people who are coming from the Sierra Nevada to Mount Shasta, the first time they've ever done so, to help us in this retreat and ceremony where we're activating the power of the mountain and the power in our own DNA. It's going to be truly magical. So you can still help support that crowdfunding mission that Mary Maya has set up. It would be a huge gift to get these people here safely. And I'm actually giving a bunch of perks and gifts of my time and love and support. And so is Mary Maya. So you can get private sessions with her, as well as information on how to receive the blessing from these visiting shamans. So I will include that link before I get off of here, because I think I'm supposed to be talking to you, Maureen, right? Don't we have an appointment in like two seconds? Anyway, hello, Helen. Lovely to see you. Hello, Monica. You guys are going to have to watch the replay. I hope you will, because it is, I'm giving you kind of a mouthful. I will tell you that. Maureen says, you thought to yourself that I am a mirror for you. You started making labels for yourself as a mom and enclosing myself in this sheltered life that I never lived. Yeah, girl. It's very easy to do it with parenting. We get so tired and it's like, no, I'd rather go home and sleep. No, I need to clean the house. If you had seen all the stuff Solveig manages, and mind you, Sol has 3 children. You know, I can't complain. I've got 1. But all that she's doing between the new business that we're bringing to the world, her yoga studio, which is now expanding, her home life, all of the beautiful stuff she's doing for women in Iceland, it was like, how am I limiting myself? And she does it in style. I mean, she's always like in a beautiful dress, in that yoga gear, like flowing and beautiful. I'm like, dang, I need to step it up. You know, in the best way. This isn't like, you know, in the best way. I mean it in the best way. So my friends, I wish you a fabulous weekend. I hope that it's been a good summer for you so far. I know I am super excited about what's coming next. I will be heading off to the United States next Wednesday. So I will be with you on Monday, if you care to tune in. Lots of great interviews have been going on my show, from Liberate Your Authentic Self. All those old podcasts and my radio show, I'm on the radio every day, streaming live from 12 to 2 Eastern Standard Time, or here in Central Europe, it's from 6 to 8, 5 to 7 for you in the UK. So just visit America Out Loud. You can hear me every day, if you like that sort of thing. And then tomorrow, I have a special interview airing at 3 p.m. Eastern. So that's 9 o'clock for us here in Central Europe, 8 o'clock for you in the UK. The interview that I did with Helena Goldstein is going live. And it's a good one because it's about what it really means to be a light worker and how you can work at bringing more light into your life even when things look really crappy and dark. So, my lovely friends, there's lots of ways for us to connect. And yes, just before I jump on with Maureen, I will put in the link. Was it you, Kim, that asked for that? For the shamanic journey. It is well worth supporting. It's a good cause. All of anything that you donate, including paying for your virtual ticket to attend the retreat on Mount Shasta on September 9th, all of that goes to a good cause, and that is getting them over to America. And lots of wonderful gifts from me and Mary Maya. So have a wonderful weekend, my lovelies. I am so, so, so happy that you joined me for this little cup of verbal tea on a Friday. And just know that I am sending out tons of love and support to you to lift you up and to keep you well, because I love you. It's true. And because you are an amazing human being. You are a gift to the world, so please do share your presence, your full presence with passion. May you be free from suffering. May you be truly well in body, mind, and heart. And may you know true happiness. Until next time, much love. Bye.